Good morning, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie. It's day six. It's day 6 of the September series where I upload a video every day, and it's currently 5:44 a.m. I start work at 6. I work from home, for those of you that don't know. But I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be trying to listen to the audiobook of, I believe it's called Bookworm. I read the first chapter of it, I think last month, and I was very intrigued by it because it seemed like it was going to be this satirical, unlikable character. I'm pretty sure it's about this woman who is delusional, and she reads a lot. She's basically me, I guess. She sees this random guy in a cafe, and she just decides that she's in love with him. And she starts fantasizing about her husband dying and her somehow ending up with this dream man. I think the synopsis said something about how fantasy and reality start melding together. This has a surprisingly low rating on Goodreads. It only has a 3. And I'm guessing that's because it's gonna be an unlikable character, but I can get down with an unlikable character, especially if it's satirical. So that's what I'll be listening to while I'm working. I've been having a lot of trouble focusing on audiobooks while working. For my job, I kind of get into this rhythm. I do a lot of math, I use Excel spreadsheets, but I'm pretty much doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I get into this rhythm where it's kind of running in the background. I used to be able to listen to audiobooks while doing that. I used to be able to watch TV in the background. I can't do that. I feel like the older I get, the less hard it is for me to concentrate on 2 things at once. Lately, the only type of audiobook I can listen to while I'm working is a reread or something with a very simple plot. We'll see if this works out. I just made my fave little lunch, a cucumber tomato feta cheese salad. I put literally like half of the thing of feta cheese in here. Also, it's funny to say I'm having lunch because it's currently 10:13 a.m. But because the place I work for, they're in Arizona, so I have to like set my hours to theirs. So technically this is kind of brunch, but I'm not complaining. As for what I've been listening to, I stopped reading Bookworm at 17%. And sadly, it's not for any controversial or really strong opinions. It was just actually more depressing than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a really sharp satire. And the main character is sort of unlikable, but her husband's an asshole, which I guess would make it more fun for her to imagine him being killed. But I guess I thought she was going to be this kind of cutthroat, literally vapid lady, and maybe she is, and we've seen like kind of hints to it, but she's very kind of meek. And right now I'm looking for a stronger main character. So I have started Veronica Speedwell book 1, and that's a very confident lady, so I'm happy. Also, it's hard to eat and talk to you at the same time, I'm sorry. I am 14% into A Curious Beginning, I believe this one's called. Last year, or maybe earlier this year, I picked up what I thought was the first book from my library, and it was actually the second book, and in the first chapter, there was a huge spoiler for, I think, the biggest plot point in book 1. So I've already been spoiled for that, but that doesn't bother me at all. I feel like it's kind of fun because I'm getting hints, and I feel like I'm in on the inside joke. This is a historical cozy mystery about a woman named Veronica. She's kind of on her own, and she's really very sure of herself. She's very smart. She's very world traveled, and her community, of course, in this time, what is it, like the 1800s? Why am I asking you? But they are like, girl, you need to get married. And she's like, no. But she comes home one day and there is someone in her house, a robber, question mark, and then another man appears. Veronica isn't harmed or anything. The robber gets away, and the guy who wasn't the robber says that she is in terrible danger and that she needs to come with him, and she agrees. He brings her to London and knocks on the door of some warehouse, and there is a shirtless, tattooed man with scars down his face, an eye patch, long dark hair, looks like a pirate, a hot pirate. He's grumpy and sweaty, and they're gonna fall in love. I know it. I love how this is the part that I'm like getting giddy about. I'm such a simp. So now Veronica and this pirate man, he's not actually a pirate. His name's Stoker, I think. They are gonna have to stay together for however long. That's where I'm at right now. They are butting heads, but I think they are quickly going to become maybe not friends, but you know, friends. Veronica is very much reminding me of Emily Wilde of Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which is very good news for me because this is my favorite book of the year so far. They're both in a historical setting. They both are so smart. They're both worldly travelers. I will say that Emily Wilde is like the uncool version. She's very awkward. She's very unfriendly. I really, really loved her. Veronica, she is kind of a cool girl. She's not like the other girls. She wears pants. She smokes tobacco. She smoked opium in the Congo or something, and she's constantly just wowing men with being observational and oh my god, smart. It's kind of comical, but also I don't mind it at all. Like, I think she's cool and I want to continue reading about how cool she is. Y'all, I can't even explain to you how much I do not want to read right now. It's almost 5 o'clock. I'm just grumpy because I got my period. None of you needed to know that, but I had to share. And I don't feel like doing anything. I knew it would be a struggle on the weekdays because after work, I only have a couple of hours to read before I have to edit and then go to bed. And I think I have my hopes set on finishing a book every day, even though I said in my disclaimer that's not gonna happen. So I shouldn't be disappointed in myself, but I am, okay? Tonight, I am just gonna take it easy. I'll take you along with me for the rest of the evening. Maybe I'll listen to more of A Curious Beginning. By the way, I did get a quarter of the way through, but I'm still enjoying it. It's still fun. There's a sort of circus element to this that I wasn't expecting. And also, I'm seeing a lot of hints that this is sort of like Pride and Prejudice coded, but that might just be me being basic as fuck, thinking that any historical romance sounds like Pride and Prejudice. Oh, I honestly feel like relief knowing that I won't have to try to finish a book tonight, so that feels good. That being said though, I should probably come up with a plan for tomorrow to avoid this embarrassing fumble. All caught up editing besides this clip, obviously. And you know what? After watching my whole day, I don't know why I was so down on myself. It must have been the period hormones because I feel like I read a lot. As you saw, I did continue Scary Stories for Young Foxes. I started this, I think in July. I read the first 2 chapters and I love this. This is actually children's horror. That's how it's categorized in Goodreads. But if I was a child and I read this, I would be traumatized. It's about a group of young foxes. I think baby foxes are called kits, which is just a cute word. Anyway, they are getting scary stories from this older fox. So each of the chapter is a new story, but they're also interweaved, each of the stories with each other, which I wasn't expecting, and I'm really, really loving it. The stories themselves are sort of frightening. In a circle of life, animals get hurt and they hurt each other, and it's a tough world out there to be an animal. It's honestly so sad. Now I am halfway through. I've read 4 stories. I also didn't realize, obviously, because when I started this book, I was listening to the audiobook. I don't know why I said obvious. That wasn't obvious. I first listened to this from my library app via audiobook, and I did not know that there were pictures for every chapter and sometimes in between the chapters. And they're so cute and like hand drawn. And then in between the chapters, we go back to the main children who are listening to these scary stories, and they're getting more and more scared as the stories progress. So yeah, that was a success, and I'm glad I was inspired to continue reading, because I lost a little bit of hope there at the end. You ever get in those moods where you're like, damn, turns out I just don't like reading anymore. No matter how many times I have those moods and get out of them, I will continue to think that's happening to me. Let me do my statistics for the day. For those of you that are just tuning in and have no idea what I'm talking about, as a part of my September challenge for myself, I am going to go over the amount of books I've read, the amount of pages I've read today, and the amount of pages I've read in total of the month of September. So I have finished 3 books so far this month, and today I ended up reading 222 pages between 3 different books. 49 pages of Bookworm. My loan from the library ended, so I had to return it. I do think I'm going to pick it up at some point, but probably not this month. I read 91 pages of A Curious Beginning and 82 pages of Scary Stories for Young Foxes. That brings my total for the September series up to 1,091 pages. It is 9:40, and I can't believe I'm finished editing. Like, this is such great news. Yesterday I was up to like 11:30. So now I'm just gonna put this in, export it, upload it, make a thumbnail, take a shower. I don't know why I'm telling you all of this. I think I need to turn the camera off now. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.